This is the second activity in the Concord Consortium-Interactions in the Atmosphere set of interactives that is continuing on with this basic image of the Earth showing a volcano, which is one contributor of CO2 in the atmosphere, and the ground and the heat energy in the ground shown by those red molecules. It has some of the same interactions as the first one. It also has these two graphs here that are actually kind of important to look at. So, simple interaction, you hit play. I do find it's very nice to slow the simulation down, although what you're going to find here is when you slow it down, it's going to make your graph go slower. So if you want to collect a little bit more data, crank that speed up and watch the graphs go. That way you can see better patterns. If you want to slow it down so that you can see what's happening here between things, then slow it down. And you're going to see some of those same interactions. You have the yellow solar radiation coming down and hitting the Earth and warming the Earth, and some of it does bounce back. You also have these little purple arrows, and what are those purple arrows? Why are they important? What are they doing? How are they interacting differently? Remember, we can erupt the volcano, adding more CO2 to the atmosphere, and notice what happened down here. Our graphs are labeled. They have a title, temperature change, time in years, temperature, and down here you have CO2 concentration. How many years go by? We added a lot of CO2, and then you can follow along on this graph and see what happens. Then we can go back here and remove some CO2 and notice it changed. And what are we going to notice on the other side? So the goal of this is to spend some time interacting with CO2 under natural circumstances like volcanoes and how it can affect the atmosphere and temperature on Earth. If while working with this simulation you're finding that you can't hit the next button or the submit button, what I want you to remember is that I put another video in this activity. And what we can do is go back to the beginning where just that first link where you go into the interactions in the atmosphere and just click on number 3. We are recording our answers in the Google document. And hopefully you're beginning to understand and see some of the connections that happen in our atmosphere.